If you want to know how Kajabi versus Teachable versus Thinkific compare when it comes to creating, marketing, and selling your digital products or coaching services online, then keep watching. Because in this video series, you'll discover which of the platforms you should avoid and which one is the absolute best option for you to succeed with. And before I forget, if you want to be notified as I release additional videos in this Kajabi versus Teachable versus Thinkific series, or if you want to discover additional tips, tricks, and resources to enhance your results creating or expanding a business online, then be sure to smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Hey, I'm Dex, and I've been selling and marketing digital products online since 2007. I've also helped hundreds of other business owners to create or expand their businesses online. For more than a decade, I've seen a lot of online platforms succeed for many people. However, I've yet to find one platform that's best for all people. It's like if someone was interested in buying a new laptop. Without any other details, someone might look at a Chromebook and then look at a MacBook. One is $200, one is $2,000. But without any other details, they might just look at both and say, both have a keyboard, both have a screen, both can access the internet. Yeah, sure, why would I spend $2,000 when I can just spend $200? However, not one laptop is right for everybody. Someone who just needs longer battery life, access to the internet, and maybe some typing software might be happy with a $200 Chromebook, which is why so many schools give it to their students. However, someone who needs access to video editing or gaming or any sort of powerful application that's more than just a browser would probably want a real laptop or a MacBook. So just saying I want an online platform to host my courses is like saying I just want a laptop. You need to know the details, and without it, it can be very confusing and frustrating. I'm here to help eliminate the confusion and overwhelm from all of these platforms so that you can start generating income by sharing your knowledge online. I decided to create this video series because I noticed a lot of old videos with outdated or misleading information comparing the platforms and what they do and don't do, especially reviews by people who haven't even used all three platforms. Without knowing the true advantages and disadvantages of Kajabi versus Teachable versus Thinkable, people will make decisions based just on price, thinking almost everything else is the same. Chromebook versus MacBook. I knew recording a short 10-minute video would barely scratch the surface of what you really needed to know. So I decided to create a detailed video series for those who are serious about choosing the right platform so that I could show you the difference of each one. This isn't a review to say what platform should be the only one to use because, like I said, all three are great platforms for creating courses online and all of them have tons of success stories. No, this is a video series to help you identify which platform is best for your specific needs now and in the future. I believe this video series will save you countless hours of research, error testing, and setting up demo trials. Because I've identified 5 key platform categories for people to use when deciding which online digital product platform is best suited for them. And if you're like me, you often take these review videos with a bit of skepticism because typically you'll look into the description of the video and you can see the affiliate or partner link of one of the products and you're pretty certain you know where that video is going to lean towards. I did not want that to happen with this video. So I'm actually an affiliate partner for all 3 platforms. So I have no bias. There is going to be no, manipulation of the details to make one platform look better than the other. You are going to find out the true advantages and disadvantages of all three platforms so that you can truly make the best choice for what you need. So without further ado, let me show you the 5 key platform categories that I identified, which will make selecting the perfect platform for you that much easier. The first category is success structures. The second is product creation. The third is communication capability. The fourth is marketing capability. And the fifth and final one is selling capability. So in this video, we're going to talk specifically about the success structures, what they are and why they are so important to ensuring you find the right platform for you. First up is the learning curve. So what is the learning curve? Essentially, based on my experience and my time helping other people, it is how hard, how difficult is it for you to figure out how to use the platform and actually start building on it, selling, making, marketing your ideas, products, you name it. Now, what I have found is that there are a lot of platforms that are very powerful, very customizable. However, if you take someone who's not very tech savvy, or even someone who's just new to this whole online product creation, they struggle to even build a simple site, let alone get their products up. And as a result, they get frustrated, they get deterred, and they give up on using the platform to achieve their results, which means wasted time, wasted money. This is why having a very well done learning kind of establishment set up inside of the platform is vital for making sure you see success as quickly as possible, because time is money. So first up, let's talk about Kajabi. What Kajabi provides their new members is a dashboard orientation and done-for-you pipelines. These are essentially what Kajabi refers to as their sales funnels. That's the pipelines. And I'll show that in a second. Then they have an onboarding success call. So any new member who signs up with Kajabi gets access to a customer success representative who's going to spend about an hour, 45 minutes or so with them, walking them through the platform to make sure that they know how to use it, know how to build with it, how to get their products up and running, and answer any questions that they have. And that is very cool for ensuring that people get up and running as quickly as possible. They also offer as an option in their access pricing package something called coaching sessions. So you can get 6 one-on-one coaching sessions if someone joins up through their access pricing add-on package. So it's not necessary. Everybody gets access to at least one coaching success call, and then those who choose to get more have that option. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so here I am inside of the Kajabi dashboard. Now, this is a demo account, so there's no real data to show. But as you can see, if you are logging into Kajabi for the first time, you scroll down and they have built into the dashboard on the home screen a orientation, I guess you could say, to help you get up and running with the platform as soon as possible. So the first thing they do is walk you through how to create a product. You know, they got a video here you can play. This first part for creating a product has 4 steps. Then they show you how to package the product. And then as you can see, there's multiple steps in this one as well. Creating the offer, adding your offer content, editing and previewing the checkout, how to go about selling the product. So you can go about configuring your marketing settings, setting up your pipeline blueprint, test purchases, etc. And then setting up your site. So you've got your homepage, your opt-in pages, all of that. So if someone has never had experience creating, marketing, selling a digital product or service online, Kajabi makes sure you're covered with videos and basically step-by-step tutorial right on the home page. Now, another interesting thing that I covered off is the Kajabi pipelines. So a pipeline, as you can see here, is basically a collection of the landing pages, email campaigns, etc. that you would want for your sales funnel, or what Kajabi calls a pipeline. So here's how that looks. You would come into the pipelines, and if you want to offer something for free, like a lead magnet, like a report or video, they've got a pipeline set up for you. You've got sales pages, product launch, Zoom webinar, free book, and the OVO stands for opt-in value offer. So essentially on each of these like pre-designed templates, they take care of structuring your sales campaign so that you have something that you can give away for free, follow up, and then make an offer. And of course, you also have the ability to just make a blank one from scratch. So for example, let's say I never had any experience selling a product online before. Well, you can see here the visual representation of what you'll be getting with this pipeline. You'll get an opt-in page, a series of 8 emails, a sales page, and then the checkout. And they also have a video that explains everything as well. So if you click on Create Pipeline, select a test product, generate the pipeline. In a matter of a few clicks, you will see that Kajabi takes care of building out the entire sales and marketing funnel for me. So what you'll see in a second is that we have an opt-in page, we have a series of emails, then there's a sales page, which these emails were probably driving people to, and then we've got our checkout page. And then on the left here, we also have a checklist of things we need to do to really make sure everything is set up. So if I clicked on the opt-in page, here you can see the pre-designed page ready to go, and I can update and edit any of these things with the text. I can change the background if I wanted to a different image, etc., etc. Then you also have the emails. So this is a series of pre-written emails done for you that you can just click into and tweak. You can swap in your own name, swap in whatever you want to do, and here's the link that takes you to your sales page. All done for you very simply and effortlessly. So even if you had no experience, you can change all of these things around. And of course, you have the ability to add more sections and all that. And I will talk about the ability to build landing pages and marketing pages in the future. I just wanted to showcase that this was what they take care of. And then here's your product setup. So even if someone had no experience whatsoever, probably within an hour, a couple hours, assuming you had all of your course content ready, you could be ready and rocking to start going with Kajabi. Next up, we have Teachable. Now, Teachable also has an orientation of sorts on their dashboard. However, it's really basic, and it's just 3 simple steps. Okay, so here I am inside of the Teachable dashboard. And as I mentioned, this is more of a broad 3-step orientation that they use as opposed to, say, Kajabi. So they have their ability to create your first product, customize your website, and launch and grow your business. And then each one of these takes you either to a help file or to the actual setup screen to create a product, edit the sales page, edit your homepage, etc. But there's no additional information or context based off of this alone. Now, Teachable does provide a checklist that you can download, which will walk you through a lot more detail as it relates to getting started. And that's actually very cool. That's very helpful on their behalf, and they provide a lot more context. As well, they have this quick start. They call it a webinar, but it's basically a 40-minute quick start video that will walk you through how to create your course on Teachable, how to publish your services, get your content up and running, etc. So as far as the learning curve process with Teachable, they do provide quite a few resources to help you get up and going. And then there's Thinkific. So Thinkific has the dashboard orientation, but it's actually very well done, similar to Kajabi. It's very thorough, whereas Teachable's was very simple, as you saw. They also provide a migration guide and migration support call. So this was really cool. If someone is new to Thinkific, but is coming from another platform, they have basically a workbook as well as someone who will hop on the phone with you. I believe if you have over like 100 or 1,000 students, and they will walk you through the process of importing all of your previous students from that platform into Thinkific. So that's really cool for ensuring that someone gets up and running quickly with that platform. And they also have an onboarding call that is available. However, it's only for the $400 and some a month plan. So it's not something that just anybody gets access to. Whereas with Kajabi, everybody, regardless if you sign up for the lowest or highest plan, gets access to a one-on-one coaching call to get you up and running with the platform. So here I am inside of the Thinkific dashboard, which has a detailed orientation similar to Kajabi, much more detailed compared to Teachable. So as you can see here, the first thing you do is you create your account. Then they have a little video that explores or shows you what you can actually do with Thinkific, so you're kind of aware of what's possible. It lets you customize your course player with whatever primary colors you want to use for your brand. Then you can preview how that course looks, and then you move on to the next step, which allows you to add content to your course, preview it again. With here, then you customize your site with your landing pages, etc., etc. So once again, you aren't left just confused, wondering what you should do. They tell you step by step what are the key things you should get implemented right away. The second component of the success structure is having platform help. So with platform help, this is essentially having the knowledge base, the help center, having email support tickets. All of those are very basic. I would argue very standard and pretty much mandatory for any online platform. Where these platforms went above and beyond would be like Kajabi, where on their middle plan, you get access to 24/7 live chat support. So if you've ever done any sort of website building or marketing online with any platform, you know that glitches and bugs, or even just things you get stuck on, can happen, right? You might be trying to send out an email or getting a thumbnail sized properly or whatever, and you just are struggling to figure it out. Well, instead of waiting till the next morning during business hours where you may be at work, or if it's the weekend, maybe you're waiting 2-3 days to get some sort of support request answered, you can hop on live chat and they will work with you right there to get it fixed. And that is huge, because if you're waiting days, let alone hours, to get a response back from tech support, that could be costing you, especially if you're in the middle of a big product launch. That's the nightmare situation for a lot of people, is something going wrong and it's 11 o'clock at night, your launch is at 8 a.m. and you're pulling your hair out. All right, so that's pretty cool about Kajabi. They also have the Kajabi Ideas portal, so I'll show you what that's all about. Okay, so here I am inside of the Kajabi Ideas portal. So one of the cool things that I have appreciated about this company is that they are huge on taking feedback and suggestions from their members for how they can improve. So for example, here, these are all feature requests, ideas for improvements that the members have actually submitted to the company, and then people can vote on it, saying, yeah, I think that'd be nice to have, it'd be important, it's critical. And as you can see, they take a lot of suggestions, payment providers that could be added in, etc. Now, once there's enough support, or it's been brought up to the dev team enough that it's time to get worked on, then it gets moved over to planned. So you can see what they currently have on the dev team's plate in order to be added in. You can see what's currently in beta, so multiple upsells right now, because currently you can only do one upsell, which I'll cover in a future video series. But just things like that, checkout layout settings specifically for mobile devices, as opposed to just being responsive, etc. And you can see what's already been launched. So the feedback is great. This just came out this quarter, so you can kind of see what's been happening all along the way. So I just like the discussion, the transparency of the feedback, and the willingness to accept ideas from the membership, which I wasn't able to find on the other platforms. And then, of course, with Teachable and with Thinkific, you also have the live chat. However, it's only available during business hours, and that's based off of the American time zones. So for those who are in, say, Europe or overseas, this might be off for you. It might be nighttime where support is, where it's your business hours where you are. So that's something to also keep in mind. And then there's business resources. So this is the area of the success structures where the platform goes above and beyond just how to use the platform, but also provides resources for you to see success with your business as a whole. So for example, Kajabi has their blog, which is pretty standard. You've got articles and resources and content from different experts and knowledgeable people in their respective fields. But they also have something called the Kajabi Heroes. So what a Kajabi Hero is anybody who has sold more than $1,000 with the platform. And then after you hit 10,000 and 25,000 and 50,000, they give you rewards to encourage you to say, hey, keep on going. Fun fact, there's other platforms like ClickFunnels, etc., that also give rewards, but they give rewards when you hit, the 2 comma club. So once you make $1 million or more. Well, Kajabi does that at $1,000 because when someone hits $1,000, that is a huge moment for them to have that encouragement, that excitement to keep going. Fun fact, Kajabi was the first platform to do this. And then because they noticed that when you encouraged someone to get to that first $1,000, they were more likely to keep pushing forward as opposed to giving up because they weren't seeing any sort of monumental results, like replacing their income completely. Another thing that Kajabi does is virtual meetups, where other Kajabi experts and longtime users of the platform can get on with you on a group call and just talk business, talk marketing, talk about what's working for them using the platform, using social media, using ads, whatever. So you actually have a peer group that as you are working through the Kajabi platform, you can ask people, what are they doing for content, for blog posts? What are they doing for their websites, for videos, for content in general? So that's really cool. Kajabi also has Kajabi University. So Kajabi University has different courses by either staff of Kajabi or Kajabi heroes who've made over 100,000 or $1 million on the platform, and also putting out courses for how they got their success, strategies for you to use, etc. So instead of spending hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars buying, marketing courses from, all these gurus out there, Kajabi University has dozens of different levels of courses from basic to intermediate to advanced to expert that cover the gamut of all kinds of business stuff. So that's also cool. And then Kajabi also has weekly support webinars. So basically, throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, several times throughout the day, you can hop on to this live webinar and ask questions about product creation or about using the platform or about lead generation or whatever you want to talk about. So that's cool. And then, of course, there's the Kajabi podcast, which they do interviews with experts, etc. And then there's Teachable. So Teachable has a blog, Teachable U, which is kind of their version of Kajabi University, which has courses you can access. And then there's the Teachable group coaching, which is available for anybody on the $99 or higher plans. Now, their group coaching, unlike Kajabi, is only held once per day, 3 times per week. So Teachable does make group coaching available, which is really cool. However, it's just less frequent. And then there's Thinkific, which has a blog, and Thinkific has an academy. They call it Thinkific Academy, but there's only 5 courses on it. They're free, they're included. But yeah, there's 5 courses on their academy version. So definitely not as in-depth or as thorough as Kajabi University, but each of the platforms has kind of their own version of training. Just as you saw, Kajabi University has a lot more courses to access to help you see success. When it comes to Kajabi versus Teachable versus Thinkific, there's a lot of great features I could cover. So, which feature would you like me to do a comparison video about in the future? Let me know in the comments below. Now, the next success structure that we want to look for is professional positioning. This is the resources, the tools, what is available by the platform to help make you look like an authority, like someone who isn't just kind of, scrapping along, trying to do the best they can, and making it look like that in the final result. Here's what I mean. So Kajabi allows you to use existing website themes. You can import themes. You can use page templates that are all professionally designed. Okay, so here I am in the Kajabi dashboard, and I just wanted to showcase just how many tools and resources Kajabi gives in order to make someone look as professional as possible, because I haven't seen a lot of reviews cover this. So for example, for your website, inside of the different pages, you can have a theme. Now, a lot of the online platforms have themes. However, you'll see most don't have that much for variety. So just for the website pages alone, Kajabi gives 8 different themes, and they're constantly adding new ones. So for example, possibly you would like a site that's, a bit more traditional in terms of looking corporate. This would be the default theme you could go with. But what if you'd like a bit more feminine theme? Well, maybe you would like to see Amelia. So this could be used for your contact pages, your home page, your different services that you offer. And you can see that the font is different, the coloring, which you can change, all the images, you name it, you can change. But it gives you a basic starting platform that already looks sharp. Perhaps you'd like something that's a bit more, techie looking. Well, this would be something that you could use if you have maybe more of a IT or tech-based business that you wanted this type of look to start with. Now, even if you don't change any of the fonts or colors, you have a page that's already good to go. But now, speaking of pages, that's just for your website brand pages. Like I said, your contact page, your About Us, the services, homepage. But Kajabi, being a full marketing platform as well, has landing pages as well, which means that you have several professional templates you can use for whatever you want as a solo page. For example, you could have a sales page, and they've got various different sales page templates. So for example, let's say you have a sales page that might have a sales video. You could use this page template. Or maybe you have something that's a bit more cool, modern, maybe music-based. Then you could have this as a landing page. Once again, you can move all of the sections, change the colors, change the photos, but just starting off, you have a page that's good to go. Maybe you have something that's more fitness-based. Again, you've got different styles as a starting point, even if you don't change anything about it. But those are just sales pages. You've got podcast pages, because Kajabi does have a feature that allows you to create and sell your own podcasts. Maybe you want to have a link in bio type of page for your Instagram or YouTube or Twitter handles. Well, you've got a variety of different pages that you don't have to pay another platform to use. You could create a page that's mobile responsive that you could put all of your links and have it looking very sharp. What about thank you pages for any giveaways or offers that you have? What about opt-in pages? Let's say you have that free report or lead magnet that you want to use. Well, you can just click and install a single page for that opt-in, connect it within Kajabi to a lead collection form, and then send out marketing messages all within the platform. And you saw some of that in the pipeline example as well. But it doesn't just stop there. Those are just your marketing type pages. Here I created a demo product, so you can go inside of your products and you can customize how your product looks as well. So as you'll see, Teachable and Thinkific have a very distinct look, which is pretty much a structure that you can't change. Whereas with Kajabi, you can go in, and if you want to have a theme that looks like this for a specific product, not all of your products, if you want, you can, but you can have every product look different. So for example, you could have Premier, which has this for your categories. Once you go into your category, you can see the list of lessons inside of that category, and then you can see how the lesson is structured. And you can change the colors, you can collapse and remove the sidebar here, you can add different stuff to the sidebar here. Or maybe you don't like that. Maybe you would prefer something different. Well, you also have Momentum, which is maybe a bit more like what Thinkific and Teachable does. So here you have your course in the middle, you've got your lessons on the side, You've got your categories if you want them, and each of your lessons, you can have a video or a photo or nothing at all. And then you have your text, and then you can have comments for discussion. But what if you don't want either of those themes? Maybe you want something that's a bit more image-based. Well, you can pick a theme like Lagunita or Lagunita. I don't know how to pronounce it. Lagunita? I don't know. But here, you can see that here the categories are more image-based. And then inside each category, you have different thumbnails for the lessons. They can see the progress that they've made so far watching it. And then inside of the lesson, you've got a video and text. And again, this is just one of many different themes that you can use for a product. Maybe you want something that's even simpler. Maybe you have a 4-module course. Well, you might have multiple videos on one page, and then in module 2, you might have a different set of videos, right? So you can have a lot more freedom and flexibility with the different themes and templates that Kajabi offers, and each one looks sharp immediately. You don't have to build it from scratch. You don't need to be a designer. It just looks good. From there, you can just change the colors as you want, and Kajabi makes that easy to do thanks to their brand kit. So instead of having to keep, a text file open beside your computer or whatever, and just copying and pasting the same colors over and over every time you want to change a background or a button color or the font text, you can set up your fonts here to match your colors here to match whatever your brand is going to have on a regular basis. And then inside of your pages, your products, your landing pages, your emails, whenever you click on the color palette button, you already have your brand colors for your site ready to go. You can just continuously click and have it change, easy peasy. So that is the themes and brand kit functionality of Kajabi. Now, Kajabi allows for video hosting, unlimited bandwidth, within reason, for all of your websites, your blog pages, and your products, so you can place your videos on there. Now, you might be wondering, well, can't I just use YouTube for videos? However, there's a huge risk of annoying ads interrupting whatever content that you're putting up on your site, if it's your website or your landing pages. But if this is a course that people paid for, you really don't want to use a YouTube video for your course content. One, because it's easy to just share the link and now everyone has access to your course. But two, there's a level of professionalism that doesn't come across if someone just paid for a course and now maybe an ad is showing up in the middle of a learning session, or even worse, when the video ends, now they're seeing, ads or thumbnails for other videos on YouTube for them to watch, and it could just take them out of your course, and you don't want them. Well, basically with Kajabi, that's covered for you. Kajabi also has a mobile app, a native mobile app that works with Android and iOS Apple phones so that people can access their content on the go, not in a mobile responsive browser, but an actual app that will allow them to play the audio, the content in the background, or they can stream it up onto their TV, you name it. So that's pretty cool. Now, Teachable does have a theme, but it's kind of a default theme. It's a basic user experience. Now, they also have a limited brand customization. So while you do have the ability to change some of the colors for some of the items on the site, on a regular basis, it's not as simple or as easy to use. All right, so here I am inside of the Teachable dashboard, and I just wanted to show what I was referring to with the theme options and design choices that they permit. So from within the dashboard, you can go either to your site or you can go into courses. If you go into site, you can see here that it brings you to theme. So I've already put some dummy content in here, but first off, you can see the font family selections. Now, I didn't show this with Kajabi, but Kajabi's got about 4 times the font selection. This is your options here. So limited in font choices. And then you've got your color palette. So instead of giving you the option with kind of like a global palette that Kajabi does, you pick your theme presets. So you could have any of these be what you are preloading your pages with. And then you've got your kind of global settings for the specific elements for what they will look like, where in theory, this seems great. The problem is if you want to change up anything on one of your pages, they all have to look the exact same. So here's what I mean about that. So if I go into courses, within courses, you click on this demo course that I created, and then I can go down to pages. So if I want to create a new page, unlike with Kajabi, there's no option for kind of what kind of template do you want. You get a default design, which is what I was referring to. So this is the default design when it comes to Teachable. You can have different sections with blocks if you want, image, text, button, video, etc. And then you've got your learning curriculum here, which will have the various lessons in whatever product that you're promoting. Now, my biggest frustration with the way this is set up is, let's say I want to change the button color on this page. Unfortunately, because of how it's set up in this platform, I can change the text for the block, and I can change the text kind of selection for the block, but the button itself cannot be changed here. Unfortunately, the only thing that you can change here is the text of the button and the URL. If I want to change the color of this button, I have to go back all the way to the design settings for the site, go to theme, scroll down. I can then change this to, let's say, bright green. I can hit save. And then if I go back to courses and go back into the page that I just created, you will see that while the button has changed, all the buttons have to change. And not just on that page, it's changed for all of the pages. So you don't have much flexibility when it comes to how you're promoting and selling your content, because everything has to look the exact same and all of the pages have relatively the same options for structure. So keep that in mind. And just to show a comparison with the flexibility that Kajabi offers, if I go back to one of these pages that we created, this is a landing page, I believe, or maybe it's a website page, but we can click on the button, and not only do we have the ability to change the text on the button to whatever we want, just like we could in Teachable, you now have the ability to also change the button background color. And if you notice down here, that's what I was referring to with the global brand kit. So the color palette that we set up, we could easily pick any of the colors we already pre-designed that matched our brand, but we also can change the button text color from right here to, I don't know, another color that we have. Let's pick yellow so it stands out a bit more. And now you can see we're changing the button here, but this isn't changing the button for every single button on the page or for all of the pages. So you can have a default button if you want, or you can have specifically different buttons, but we can take it a step further. Do you want this to be a full width button, or do you want it to just auto adjust based off the size of the display? Do you want it to be a solid button, or would you like it to be an outline button with different ability to stand out on a page? We can make it large, we can make it medium, we can make it small. You can even change the border radius of it, right? So there's more options that are involved, and that's just getting started. So that just is a good comparison for the difference with how Kajabi's flexibility differs from Teachable. And they have a limited custom domain. So what do I mean by that? Essentially, you can have your landing page have your custom domain. However, when someone goes to check out and buy your course, it's actually going to go through a Teachable subdomain. So they're going to see Teachable up in the URL, not your custom domain. So the whole site isn't fully your custom domain, just the landing page. And then they're briefly brought into a Teachable domain to actually check out. something to know about. Now, Teachable does have a mobile app. However, I put that in quotes because when I tried to use it, it wasn't letting me log in. And actually, when I went to the App Store to check out what was going on, a lot of the reviews were saying that people were having issues logging in and accessing content. So hopefully that gets fixed relatively soon. It looks like that had been going on for several months. So while I do have a mobile app, you most likely won't be able to use it currently at the time of this video to promote your courses. Then there's Thinkific. So Thinkific has 3 professionally designed themes, gorgeous, and amongst those 3 themes, there's 10 different styles, different looks to the web pages that you can use for the landing page to promote your course, etc. So here I am inside of the Thinkific dashboard. So I'm in the theme library, and now you can see that you can explore the various themes that they make available for the pages on your site. Now, there's 3 themes, but within each theme, there's multiple styles. So for example, in the Empire theme, you get this very professionally looking, well done design. And if you want to say, change it up a little bit, you can go for something a bit darker. Or you can go completely to the edge, as they call it. But you'll notice that for the most part, the appearance, the structure is relatively the exact same. We can go to Vogue and same sort of thing. You have various appearances to choose from. And whatever theme you choose, that is what your pages will be defaulting to. So for example, I have Vogue set up currently or installed in this demo account. So if I were to go to here and I were to say, publish this. So now Vogue is set up on this demo page. So if I go to build, I could click create a new custom page, and I'll call this example page, create page. Now, unlike with Kajabi, where they gave you, say, like a default structure set up for when you create a new landing page, thank you page, you name it, when you create a new page in Thinkific, you get this. So it's up to you to use whatever design skills or organizational skills that you might have to then start adding the sections that you want. Additional products, banners, bonus material, lessons, checklists, categories, you name it, frequently asked questions. But it's on you to kind of build out your site using what you have here. So we could use this as kind of a go-to. Is it flashy? Is it impressive? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but keep that in mind. It's on you to structure this. Now, one of my concerns, similar to Teachable, however, is that you don't have the ability to just kind of customize the buttons as you see them on the page. So I can click on this all I want. I don't have that option. I can go into call to action and I can change the button in here with the style of primary or secondary, and I can change the text and the link, but I can't change the appearance. How do you change the appearance, you're asking? Once again, you have a global theme setting that applies to every single button. So from here, I could go to colors, then I scroll down to button, and here you can see where I can choose how the button will look on the page. Now, unfortunately, if I have multiple buttons, that means every single button has to look the exact same. If it's going to be solid, if it's going to be just the outline, all of them have to look the exact same. So keep that in mind. If you want to have a bit more flexibility with how your pages appear, if you want, different sections to have a different look, then you may not want to be restricted in how your pages look, regardless of the way the theme allows the default appearance to appear. You also have the ability to import a template to use if you want to use someone else's. Kajabi can do the same thing. Teachable cannot. So keep that in mind. If you don't like any of the themes on Kajabi or Thinkific, there's actually people throughout the interwebs who are selling themes for like 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks that you can grab, import into your site, and you can have a beautiful site that looks exactly however you want it to. So that's kind of cool. Now, Thinkific and Teachable also have video hosting like Kajabi does. All of them use Wistia, which is kind of the leader of video hosting. So it's very fast, takes care of a lot of the optimization stuff that you need. But unlike Teachable, Thinkific does have full custom domain appearance, just like Kajabi. Now, the ability to remove Thinkific branding only exists on the highest plan with Thinkific, whereas with Kajabi, you can do that on the middle plan. So if that's important to you, keep that in mind. And the last element of the success structures would be the analytics access. Here, we see pretty much the same sort of thing across all three products. The difference being that Kajabi, because it is an all-in-one sales and marketing platform, actually shows you the sales funnel data from your pipelines. So you can see how many people landed on your landing page or wherever for your pipeline, how many of them went and either opted into a form, how many went to a checkout, how much revenue it generated, et cetera, et cetera. So you're getting sales and marketing data, whereas with Teachable, you get data to the student progress. Now, Kajabi has the student progress as well, so does Thinkific, but essentially you're not getting sales and marketing data for you to run your business with. You're just getting student progress and content engagement data, so you know how people are enjoying your content, where they're getting stuck, etc. All important, of course. However, all three of them do that. So if that is something that's important to you, just know that. There's one critical mistake that you want to avoid when it comes to making your decision, and that is expecting to achieve business level results with a hobby mindset. Especially the people that I see online over and over and over again talking about, this platform is too expensive, or this platform, it's too much money. This platform is free. I want to use the free platform. Well, think about what you're trying to achieve the same way you would do any other legitimate business, right? If you were investing into a McDonald's franchise, you would expect that, hey, it's probably going to take some money. Now, if you were like, investing into a McDonald's or Starbucks is way too much money, I'm just going to go to the grocery store and grab my own coffee beans or grab my own buns and hamburger patties, and I'll just do it myself. Well, guess which one is probably going to make a lot more money, which one's going to get results a lot faster, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So while there are options for free on Thinkable and Teachific, realize that the resources that you need, the true tools that you want, most likely are going to be in the paid plans, right? Now, also realize that you're in this to make money. Even with the annual plan of Kajabi for the basic level, you're looking at $1,400 a year. And Kajabi is usually the expensive one. $1,400 a year to access the basic plan of Kajabi. Well, if you're planning to make more than $1,400, then the cost is just an investment to get your business going, but you're profitable. So whether it's Kajabi or Thinkific or Teachable, if you're generating $5,000 a year, $10,000 a year, $20,000 a year, then the little stuff like how much you're saving in those first couple of weeks really is not what you want to be focusing on. That's the hobby mindset. A hobby mindset is saying, I'm not really in this to make money, I'm just kind of doing it. That's where people take the free plan. But the problem is that is not going to help you achieve your results as fast as you want. Here's a great example. Here's where business planning comes into play. All right. So with Kajabi, for $149 per month on their basic plan, you get access to 10,000 contacts, as well as automation triggers and unlimited email marketing messages. Now, you can go with Teachable and Thinkific, and you can get much cheaper plans, but just realize that while they have unlimited students, unlike Kajabi, which has 10,000 for that initial basic plan, they don't come with automation triggers, and they don't come with email marketing. So it's very easy to have unlimited students when you're not emailing them from the same platform. You know where you're not getting unlimited emails? If you were to go to MailChimp or Klaviyo or ActiveCampaign. So to get access to the same 10,000 contact level that Kajabi gives for $149 per month or $119 per month on the annual plan, you would need to spend $87 per month with MailChimp, or $119 a month with Klaviyo, or $180 a month with ActiveCampaign on top of your subscription to Teachable or Thinkific. The reason why I say that, and that's not even factoring the automation triggers that you would need to compare with Kajabi by using Zapier. In case you don't know what an automation trigger is, basically it would be like if someone enters their name into this form, I want you to automatically give them access to this course and then add them to this email sequence and then send them this series of automated emails, which will then promote this other course I want them to buy. That's what Kajabi gives you, all included in that one plan that a lot of people say is too expensive. However, Teachable and Thinkific don't have those marketing capabilities. So while they are great course platforms, you can't send out emails. You can't automate the triggers that says, hey, when someone finishes this course lesson, add them to this email sequence. In order to do that, you would need to pay for Zapier at $20 per month or more, depending on the amount of triggers you're using, and that email service. So right there, you're looking at possibly $150, $200 a month, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying to pick one or the other based off of this, but before you just immediately say one is way too expensive, I want the free plan or the cheap plan over here, realize what your business objectives are. So if you know at some point in the future, you're going to want automations and you're going to want email marketing, keep that in mind when you pick your platform. So with that being said, which is the best platform for you? Well, let's do a quick summary of really where each platform differs from the others. A lot of them have similarities. This is just like that laptop example. They all have that keyboard and the screen. Here's where they differ. Kajabi has a more detailed onboarding. They have done-for-you sales pipelines, which you saw, and they have that live coaching calls that they make available to help walk you through the process of getting your site set up, your products set up, sales going, your marketing done. They've got 24/7 live chat support in case you need help. They've got the ideas portal in case you have ideas for stuff that could be added to Kajabi to make it even better. They've got virtual meetups with your peers so you can hop on a group Zoom call and talk business, talk marketing, talk sales, talk content creation. They've got weekly webinars to ask or to answer any questions you have every single day. They've got Kajabi University filled with courses that you can use depending on what level of knowledge and experience you have. They've got the Heroes program to motivate people to get further and further along in their business without giving up. And they've got premium themes, templates, the global brand kit, mobile app, sales and marketing analytics, you name it. You got Teachable, basic onboarding, training video, and course launch checklist. So if you're a bit more independent, you don't need that live real-time advice, this could be for you, right? You've got the live chat support during business hours. You got Teachable You and weekly group calls 3 times a week. However, it's on the most expensive plan. And you've got limited theme design. And then you've got Thinkific, which has a detailed onboarding. They've got a fast track training course inside of their academy. That's one of the 5 courses. You've got migration support if you're moving over from another platform. That can be really helpful. And they do offer an onboarding call on the highest plan, as well as live chat, themes, styles, sales analytics. So which platform do you feel will be the best for you to get started quickly with in order to see profitable results sooner? If you prefer help in real time, if you prefer that one-on-one, Kajabi may be better. If you're a bit more independent, then maybe Teachable and Thinkific might be for you. But that's why it's important to pick one that you feel is right. As detailed as I have tried to make this video when it comes to Kajabi versus Teachable versus Thinkific, you'll have the best feel for which is right for you by just using them for a day or so. To help you out, as I mentioned before, I've shared my partner links for all 3 of the platforms below this video, which will take you to the best special offer for you to try each one of them for a limited time, completely free. For example, you can get access to a special extended free trial of Kajabi using my partner link below, which has included up to 60 days of free trial before, additional courses, etc. When you create your free trial with any of the platforms using the links below, you'll also get access to my $997 Business Breakthrough Toolkit, which is also hosted on Kajabi. This includes premium programs for getting your business results in record time, such as selecting a profitable niche, and my systems for increasing sales quickly. To learn more details about the special offers for each of the platforms and my bonus for them, just check the description below this video. For the next video in this series, I'll be revealing how Kajabi versus Teachable versus Thinkific compare when it comes to creating online courses and other digital products. So if you enjoyed this video and would like me to create more in the future, be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button. And don't forget to check out some of my other videos for strategies and resources to grow your business online. I'll talk to you soon.